This band? I like this band. I wrote it down so I don't forget who they are. Oh, I remember. Fucking Sludge! We're here with one of the sickest fucking people on social media. They call her Mvtiilati0n. They call her Satan. They call her Shay. A much nicer name to say. She's fucking out there defending bands. She's out there taking names, taking prisoners. She's out there bringing the fun and excitement, bringing empowerment. I met her at the New England Death Metal Fun Time Bonanza. I was having a good time. I was a little nervous. She said, "Come here, little boy. You look nervous. Do you want to do my blog?" I said, "I do want to do your blog because I'm full of myself. I'm full of myself." And I started screaming like a lunatic. And people that didn't know me didn't know what the hell was going on. Domino's people at first were like, "What is this guy doing? Get him his medication." I'm like, "Joke's on you. Joke's on you. I flushed all the medication. But my doctor doesn't know." And she took me over. We did a sick vlog. I'm yelling like a lunatic. All of a sudden, I start getting people's attention. The nice thing about it is we're screaming, I'm yelling, she's laughing. I'm reading her vibe. She's just making me feel so comfortable. Her and her friend, so sorry I forgot your name, but I fucking had such a blast. It was such a great time. It was a life-changing moment for Metal Horror Madman. It was something where I said, I can be myself. I can be myself. There's people out there real like me that made me feel like instant friends right off the fucking bat. But we got Shay here, and she's here to bring the brutal. We are who we are, and we're proud of the transformations we make. Like, we embrace it, and we love it, and we think other people should be okay with that stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, when I see all those people when they're hating or complaining, you can't please everyone, so why should you bother trying to do that?
It's so
and that's
true.
what I live by.
You do live by that, and you can't please everybody, and that's one of the things that I think really hurts anybody doing creative content, whether it's a band, whether it is influencers. You've got to just worry about what you're doing, why you're doing it, why you enjoy doing it, and you'll meet the good people along the way. You fall into them like we talked about at the Bonanza. So many friends are made at the Bonanza. That gave me the empowerment to scream my fucking slayers at every show I go to. I love causing a scene. I need attention 24. If I don't get attention, the world's going to collapse. If you think I was obnoxious last year, where do you see me this year? I'm unstoppable. I'll be screaming slayers down that dirt road up at the Bonanza. I'll be waking up the neighborhood. I want to Eric, I'm here, fucking slayer. And I'll just be making a statement entrance as I do, almost like a wrestler per se, but really just of a nut job in general.
As you should, though. That's going to be fucking sick. Because, like, I look back at that interview, that little vlog that we did, and it was just so hype, and I just can only imagine that, but, like, up 10 levels.
It's up 10 levels because I was nervous. I was nervous about everything. I was dropped off there. I'm walking up that road. Eric, I love you, but I didn't know where the hell I was going and what was going. He's just like, get your ass there, you know? You know how Eric is. Eric's the man. He's one of those people that you just really appreciate the amount of effort he puts into the industry and everything he does, whether it's his merch, his tours. That was the birthplace of the trivia too up there, wasn't it?
It was.
You want to tell everybody a little bit about that up in Salem?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So monthly I do trivia nights, metal trivia nights. They're usually themed around the different subgenres, so all the questions will be centered around that. It's like 6 levels, and it gets more and more difficult, and all the questions are all different. We've got, like, multiple choice photo questions, like, guess the song, a little bit of everything. And it's a good fucking time, you know? You can get some nice food, a drink, just hang, listen to the music. I make a public playlist every single month based on the theme, too. So those are all on my Spotify for people to save and listen to, which is wicked sick. I love doing it. And, there's like a slideshow, and I have prizes at the end, too. I have a huge prize box that people can just dig through.
Sick. I know, and I hear that even you have some local vendors involved up there. It's a great venue. It's somewhere I've got to get to. I told you I'm getting there. I don't want you to think I was bullshitting. the winter and me, getting me out there in the winter, and I just shut down. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I love going out there and making videos in the snow and shit and having a good time, but I just get mentally drained and I just get locked in there and I'm just bursting. I've been getting out again and I'm waiting to get out more and more. So I've got to get up there. Everybody, you got to go check that out. You got to see, it's like a production too. She's got all this lights and the inverted cross. It's some crazy shit. She gives 150 million%. And I got to make sure I stay this year. If you're doing that at the Bonanza again, because I want to cause a scene.
I absolutely am.
Sick. So sick. We've talked to Bonanza. We've talked about how we look, how badass we look. People, don't be hating us. Don't be hating us for how we look. It is what it is. We love who we are. And what I love is we have a nice scene. We have a good scene. Yeah. However, like every scene, we have some bad actors in the scene sometimes, right? And we have things that people universally agree with are bad, or some stuff that's up in the air. But either way, it's stuff that needs to be talked about. It has to be talked about. Most channels don't have the courage to talk about it, right? Everybody's concerned. People are going to come at you. You have no fear of this stuff. Something hits that's not cool in the scene, and you are out there. And I'm like, holy shit, look at this mother. She's going to be knocking people out left and right and left. She's going to be flying from the air to go after these savages that are not good for the scene. A lot of the time, it's the typical taking advantage of women, hurting women in some kind of way, trying to manipulate the youth, all stuff that's disgusting, all stuff that sucks. And as you know, one of the worst things is when you find out it may be a band we like or liked, and we're just like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. How did you get into that, the courage to get out there and do that?
Honestly, it was just something I always really wanted to do. I've been in this scene since I was a young kid. Like 14 was when I first started really going to metal shows that had pits and things. Yeah. And I would notice these things over time. Like I went to Warped Tour, like the last 2 ones. And I think it's so funny that those were like my first 2 festivals I went to. But I just remember, like, you could tell, like, a lot of the men in the audience, like, all of the girls obviously were wearing shorts and things. Yeah. It was, like, 90 fucking degrees outside.
Right, yeah.
And humid. Like, everyone was sweating. I was sweating so much. My hair was dyed red at the time that it looked like I was bleeding because the color was dripping all over me.
Oh, wow.
But, like, people were, like, they were grabbing girls' asses and stuff. And, like, all of them were clearly underage. Like, it's Warped Tour. It's all teenage girls, mainly.
Right.
And I just saw how so many people really weren't looking out for each other or were, like, excusing things. Like, a lot of the time, even when you see bands doing things and they get called out, especially in local scenes, they talk about it for 5 minutes. You'll see people talking about it for 5 minutes. You see it on someone's Instagram story for, like, 2 days. Then people don't talk about it ever again, and you see these people still directly supporting them by going to their shows and things.
It's so true, right? And it's just a weird thing because you'll see people attack one band and not the other. And to your point, it's because like, hey, that's what I like to say to people, like, you know, you're a fan of the music. Those songs are there. They're not going to go away. Like, no matter what these people do, those songs are etched in history. You don't have to continue to support the band. Like, you can't take away history, right? If there's stuff that you just like, or we're all guilty of it, where you go, okay, I need to still hear these songs. I know I shouldn't be, like, but I need to hear them. But you could stop supporting anything they're doing now. You could stop. You don't have to buy that stuff. It's just stuff that's in your. I'm just trying to say, like, guys, it's not gonna fucking kill you to go, I can't support this act anymore. I do love them. I loved all that previous music. But hearing what's happened in the scene, and to your point, it's always, guys, you got to do better out there. You got to do better. I don't tolerate that shit. I don't want to see anyone grab anybody. Don't do that shit in front of me. People will find out very quick. I may be 48, but I'm a young 48, and I'm a fucking madman, and I just don't give a shit when it comes to stuff like that. I cannot stand that toxic garbage. 2 things. Grabbing a girl's ass like that, way too common. And girls, you got to speak up too. I'm sorry, but you got to, right? Because I see too much of that too after the show. Oh, this guy kept. Why didn't you tell one of us? There are some of us out there that don't care, that will do something, or at the very least, go to security. Security loves to bounce. I watched one at the Palladium, and this guy, typical, which, you know, fucking older guy, and he's drunk, and some kid's in the pit, and he gets offended. He's in the pit, and it's like, hey, guy, get out of the pit. Like, this, these young kids are in there going crazy. It's what they do. And he's trying to fight him, and security just grabbed that and just bounced him out of there. They went and got security. Go get security. You cannot tolerate this anymore in 2025.
Yeah, and if you see something, say something too. Like if you see something, you can be like, oh, point out who did that and like who it happened to. But the problem with a lot of people is that a lot of women, they get afraid to speak up and tell people because so many people now, it's because of the age of the internet, I think, that people are so obsessed with wanting to have proof for everything. But people don't understand in most sexual assault cases and different things like that, most of those don't have any evidence, or it's very difficult to find physical evidence.
Right. Right.
And you can't really just be like, oh, I'm going to choose to believe this person, but I like this band, so I'm just not going to believe this person. Like, you can't do that.
It's horrible, right? It really is. And like I said, a lot of people, and everybody loves you, but there's a smaller population of people that come at you whenever you name a new band, right? And I've had bands brought up that I like the band. I even have a band, we could talk later, off here. And I was just pissed about this band beforehand. Already, I was already pissed off, and then I found out some other stuff. But yeah, you can't tolerate that in the scene. There's no excuse. It's the weirdest thing still to me. Like I have friends that are very, you know, I know females, and it's very pro Me Too and very pro like we got to stand up for each other. But then they allow this shit kind of to happen to them repeatedly, and I'm like, you're not helping this cause. Like you're saying one thing and behaving another way. Like you cannot tolerate that. And guys, you gotta address it if you see it. There's no bro code with that shit with me. That's weak. That's the weakest shit there is. If somebody's taking advantage of anybody, you've got to do something to stop that. Again, if you're not physically capable, totally understand. We don't want to put people in danger, but go get help, right? Just go get help.
Yeah, it's important to just tell somebody immediately when it happens because it makes it more likely that that person will get caught and people will be like, oh yeah, that person did it. They can be called out publicly now. But I understand why people get nervous because there really is an influx of people that don't just believe victims. And it's like, they're a victim. Like, you're supposed to believe what they're telling you. They're trying to tell their story that you can already tell was traumatic for them and difficult for them to talk about in the first place.
It's so, and let me just tell you, you just see the passion you have and sincerity here. And I'm somebody that likes to read vibes and energy. And we've never had like an in-depth conversation over this stuff yet. So it's really cool to see that you're the real deal with it. And that's something that needs to be out there. And to your point, it even goes with past trauma. Or like I came from a house with a lot of abuse in it. But you'll hear people go, oh, that's when the world was better. Like a kid got out of line, you knock him on his ass, you do this, you do that. And I sit there going, that's why people don't want to talk about their abuse either, because you people come out there and act like it was a great thing. Look at me, I turned out fine. And it's like for every one of you that turned out fine, we can show you 1,000 that didn't turn out fine. And just because, right? And just because something was, well, back in the 80s, you could grab a waitress's ass, you could punch a kid. That's awesome, guys. But that's gone. We've progressed as a civilization past that. We've realized that thing's not cool anymore. It was even when I was talking to Victor Gargoyle, like about all the to be a horror actress, right? In the 80s, tops coming off. That was the requirement. How? Like, that seems fucking insane now, right? That seems like a crazy thing. But this is where we've come to, and that's why, to your point, you have to, guys, you've got to address it, and you got to believe people. Yeah, there's always, you know this, there's always somebody that lied. So they cling on to this one story about this one girl that did this one thing. But I got bad news. 90% of these stories are true, guys. In this scene, the disappointing thing, right, as getting to know some of these bands sometimes, you're going to get disappointed with people you meet. You're going to get disappointed with people you think are heroes. And it's tough. How do you handle that when you go, oh, I really like this band, and like, shit, like, I can't support them anymore?
It gets disappointing. Like, one example I can give is that when I was a kid, like, I grew up with Marilyn Manson, and I feel like this is probably one of the best examples of this, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
But I used to love him. Reason I started shaving my eyebrows when I was a teenager, like, the whole shebang. But then all of that shit came out, and I was, like, really upset, obviously. I was like, damn, like, I saw him in concert twice and everything, and I used to just love everything he did. And it really you know, it takes you a while to get over that denial almost, because you're like, this isn't
Right.
happening. This can't
True.
possibly be happening.
Yep.
And then I saw the documentary that came out about it that Evan Rachel Wood had made. And it was really heartbreaking to watch that and everything. And that's when I was just like, yeah, I absolutely cannot be supporting this anymore.
No, I know, and it just sucks, right? Like it just sucks. And to your point, and that news story, it comes and goes, just like you said. People just move on to something else, and it's crazy. It's crazy out there, and it's just crazy the excuses people make, and that's something like you just gotta grow out of. You gotta stop doing that. Like I sit there and look at certain people, even actors I liked at one time, and I hear things, and you're just like, I just don't feel comfortable. And it sucks. Yeah, it sucks because I've always looked up to this person. Or meeting somebody. The worst is meeting somebody that lets you down. Hence the, cliche, don't meet your heroes. Because that shit happens too. That happened to me once, and it's the worst feeling. When you meet and go, wow, this person's just a dick.
And it's really upsetting. Like, it happened to me once, I want to say a few years ago. It was at Warped Tour, actually. And I was really hyped because I used to like Andy Black. I hated Black Veil Brides, but I loved Andy Black's music for some reason when he did that solo stuff. And he performed, and I remember seeing him walking around after his set and everything. And I got so excited. I tried to say hi to him and stuff, and he looked at me, gave me a dirty look, and just like turned around and kept walking. I was like, no way. I was like 16 years old, and I was just like, I can't believe he did that. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm absolutely gonna hate on and make fun of Andy Biasek and Black Veil bullshit every chance I get.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Isn't that, it's the worst shit, though. It really is. When you see that happened to me with Dave Mustaine. I went to go with like a CD signing years ago at Virgin Records in Florida. And he wouldn't even look at anybody. He just had his head down. You couldn't talk to him. You weren't allowed to talk to him. They had him like far back. It was just like, are you kidding me? Like we're all buying your shit. We spend money on your concert tickets, on your CDs. And that's why I vow to, I talk to everybody, right? Any follower that sees me, whether it's at a concert, it's at a Walmart, it's wherever the fuck they find me, I will take time to get to know you, to talk to you, because I appreciate people taking the time to watch my content. I really do. And these other people, like, what a douche thing to do. Can't stop by you 16, paying for a shitty concert ticket for this guy to brush you off like that. What are we doing as a society here? This is crazier than me denying a metal mom on a Saturday night. There's just some things you don't deny. You have access to everybody. You've got to be there for everyone, Shay. I've got to be a full service person. If they need it, I've got to supply it. It's just the way it's got to be. And that's the way more people should be. And the way you are is you're very, very accessible as well. And you're also a very big fan of black metal, and you love buying vinyl, and you make some sick videos, and I love your videos when you're showing us everything you buy, and it's just the excitement. You're like me, you get excited, we get passionate. Who are your top 3 black metal bands right now?
My top 3 right now? Well, this one's mostly war metal. That's been my subgenre of black metal lately, so I would have to say Revenge, Panzerwar, and then Taka. Taka has to be one of my favorite black metal bands. And it's crazy because for how known they are, so many people just kind of forget about them and don't really talk about them that much.
They don't. That's a name you don't hear. And how did you, for me, I did the typical, like, I'm a child of the 80s, so I started with David Lee Roths and Alice Coopers, and then it got into Megadeths and Slayers, and then Cannibal Corpse, and then Dark Thrones and Dissection. And I was lucky enough to be out there in the 90s as a teenager, buying these albums when they first hit, where all that shit was going on with the churches and the killing, everything. And I would read about it in Metal Maniacs, and you'd be like, holy shit, I own this band CD. This guy's dead. This guy killed this guy. It was crazy. But, like, it progressed.
I could only imagine what that was like. That just sounds absolutely fucking insane.
Dude, like, when they're like, watch whatever, Lords of Chaos or whatever, I still haven't watched it because I sound like that dick. I'm like, I lived it. Like, I was reading about this in real time. It was the craziest. Yeah. These burnings and everything. And I mean, there was nothing like we went from glam metal, cock rock, to thrashers, to grunge, to guys burning down shit and killing each other. Like, it was such a crazy scene. And the other thing that was crazy is the music was always so beautiful to me. Like, I don't listen to it as like this harsh. It's got this like beauty when you just find the vibes to ride in it. And I don't know, it's just got this majestic feel. And then they were all out there committing atrocities against mankind. How did you get into black metal? What was your first metal band or your first metal bands, and how did you find this journey?
My first metal bands were like Black Sabbath, Megadeth, Metallica, all of that. And some new metal too, actually, because my dad was a thrasher in the 80s. Because my dad, he's like in his mid-50s, late 50s.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he was around going to shows. He actually one time won concert tickets over the radio to like see and meet Iron Maiden. Like, that's
Unreal.
like the most random thing.
Yeah.
And so I got into it because of him. And then recently, like not even that recently, probably like 6 years ago, because I lose track of time. Like, can't believe it's fucking 2025. So I'm just like, whoa, that was that long ago.
Yeah.
So like 2019, I saw Iron Maiden with my dad. And then from there, I just found like more thrash bands like Lich King and stuff like that. And then middle school, I kind of had a little bit of a deathcore phase.
Nice.
And so I found a lot of bands like Suicide Silence was one, Whitechapel.
Yep.
And Rings of Saturn, I used to be really obsessed with for the longest time.
Good band. Really good band.
They are a really good band. I don't like their newest stuff, though.
Yep.
But what really ruined... They got kind of ruined for me a little bit, though,
Oh,
because
no.
I saw them live.
Yep. And it sucked.
And it was pretty bad.
Oh. See, I know
it was because it was right after they... It was like right after they kicked out the vocalist, so it was like no vocals or anything, and it was just strange, and you could tell the tracks were sped up, like Lucas was not playing that fast. But yeah, Rings of Saturn, then after that I found black metal, Mayhem, obviously. I feel like that's most people's introductions, but Bathory was another one of the introductory bands for me. And I still am obsessed with them to this day. From their like original black metal, just super raw, aggressive shit, all the way to their more Viking metal type stuff that they had been putting out before Quorthon died.
Oh, I love Bathory. I have every vinyl. I was looking at an original pressing. I couldn't justify it. It was like $400 of the first album, but I just
$400.
$400, and I was like, crazy. Yeah, because vinyl, as you know, has gotten so out of control. Like, so just 5 years ago, the prices were half. 10 years ago, I'd go to a flea market and find gem mint like Ozzy Osbourne's for $2, which are now selling for $100 or something. But I looked at it, and I wanted it so bad because of knowing how little copies were sold back then. Like, how Bathory was one of those bands that you were like, that's when you knew someone had street cred. If you liked Bathory and knew of Bathory. And I too, it's one of the only, usually when a band, like you were just talking about, a band changes their sound to that extent, you kind of lose interest in the band. It just happens. It's happened to all of us. It's happened to me with a million bands. With Bathory, I didn't care. It was like, too sick. I even like the last couple albums, the thrashier stuff, which I know aren't up to par of that early stuff, but still good music. The guy was a genius.
He was, and his story's just so interesting. I love how he was trying to remain so anonymous, and just like the fact that nobody knew that Borgia was his dad until after he passed away. Like, that's just insane to me that he was able to hide that for that long and everything. But the whole like story of just how he ended up like distancing himself from black metal and making more Viking metal type music was because of all of the church burnings and everything happening, because he didn't agree with any of that. He was just like, oh, that's really lame and gross.
Right.
And he didn't want to be associated with it, so he changed up the sound. That
is a sick story to hear, and that explains it. And yeah, because that scene got crazy, like I said. It was just nuts reading about it in Metal Maniacs, like, and it was such new music, like, at the time. You know, black metal was just such a tiny little genre, and, like, for me, I loved Emperor. Like, Emperor got me so crazy. That Dark Throne, Mayhem, Satyricon, Marduk, like, all these old school bands that I just really love, and I still play this stuff, like, nonstop. And I loved all the sick imagery and the anti-establishment shit, and I was like eating that up all over the place because I never like to follow the rules. I can't follow the rules.
Right.
except with the metal moms, they do need to stay in line and take a number because you got to understand I'm 48 now. 48 years old, I need a little recuperating time, metal moms, so you got to understand that. But all the other rules, I say we break at all times. I'm out there. I'm always going to be a freedom fighter. Like, I had somebody telling me these pro CEO shit and everything, and I'm like, hey, fucking Luigi, bro. Favorite video game character of all time now, so deal with it. I don't like all that corporate shit. I don't, and it happened with me with music, and I'll still listen to a lot of the bands, you know, especially 80s bands. It's just fun music when you put on some Poison and Van Halen, but it's like I don't have that. It's weird over time how I went back underground. I was very underground in the 90s, and like death metal also was it just wasn't that big. It was becoming big. It was exploding, but it wasn't like where it is today, and people didn't understand it yet, right? And they didn't know. And I was all over it because I always know the scene needs to change to survive. People forget that. And I just love the other underground and the brutality. And I know you do too. You like a lot of the underground bands. Who are some of your right now, another 2 or 3 underground bands that deserve more hype?
Underground bands? So I guess right now I'm in like my sludge era. So that's what I feel like based on the seasons, I listen to different subgenres more. So spring and summer, I'm listening to sludge pretty much nonstop. And a couple of bands, Leech Milk. Leech Milk, I think, is easily one of the most underrated underground bands. They only have like 4,000 monthly listeners or something like that.
Oh, wow.
They only have a couple of releases. But they did a split with Sofa King Killer, which is another amazing band that nobody talks about. But the songs Salt Lick and Dirt Clod off of that split are incredible. They give a lot of like the same vibes as I Hate God, but a little bit filthier, honestly.
Oh, wow, that's sick. And Sludge is, I'm old school Sludge. I love my Acid Bats. I love my I Hate Gods. I love my Soylent Greens, my Crowbars. I love that whole area that just like that depressing, slow, grinding music. I like to sit in the dark sometimes and just fucking embrace it. Do you get like that with, we know I'm a psychopath. I have my ups and downs. And when I get down, though, like I want to stay down for a while, so I'll be playing that shit in the dark, just going, this is where I'm not ready to come out yet. When I'm ready to come out, I'll come out. But I want to live in all that sludgy, just New Orleans, everything's a shit show down there. Just so fucking love taking the emotions of music for that genre and like embracing it, right?
And I love doing that. It's nice to just kind of immerse yourself in it sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially that's what I like to do when listening to new albums and things that have just come out, because it really makes me able to focus on what I'm listening to. And you just really are able to hear every single instrument so clearly, and it's a completely different experience, in my opinion, to just smoke a bowl and just be so in tune with what's going on in your ears. It's like, it feels sacred. It's like a spiritual experience almost.
It really is. And with me, that's the same thing. Whether I smoke or I'm just going to take some magical gummies or something and just let that music, like, you could hear every little chord. You could, like, we're meant to have our senses like that, where our senses get more and more and we can embrace all these different sounds. And that's the same thing with me. When I put on a new album, I've got to just play it from its entirety by myself. I just got to really soak it in, and then I'll play it a second time to see if I'm still getting that emotion. And then I'll find a song that just like hits me the right way. And I just go with that. And it's a different experience, guys, than when you're blackout drunk, as the madman did for his birthday weekend, and he's still recuperating from because he's a fucking savage. And he just went way too far, way too fast per usual. He doesn't know how to stop. So now this week, you do the other stuff that calms you now. You reset yourself, right? And you got to watch all addictions. Let that be a lesson, everybody. Watch your addictions. They can kill you. That was my public service announcement, because I'm thinking of starting some commercials for that about not how to behave. So you probably just videotape me all the time, and then you would see what not to do at your age, because you're supposed to be slowing it down, but I don't know how to do that. And you don't know how to slow it down either. You're out there at concerts, you're fucking stage diving, you're in the fucking middle of the pit when I see you up at the Middle East. You got all kinds of crazy, you're making content, and you know people are going to come at you, and you're like, let's fucking go. Let's do the dance.
Yeah.
I know what I'm fucking fighting for here. How do you keep your tenacity through and I'm sure you've gone through this like me, where they'll come at you and they'll try and attack us for certain things about us, and they'll try and get in our heads. And the best way is to tell everyone to go fuck themselves and double down. That's what I do. It makes me more energetic. It makes me go, the next time I scream Slayer in a video, I'm going to amp it up by 10 times. I'm going to do it 80 times. I get like, it's not working. Like the hate I get fuel from it.
I do too. That's exactly what it does for me, because like it sounds so fucking corny, but it is so true that your haters are your biggest fans. Yeah. I notice that sometimes I'll see like the same people commenting hate on all my videos, and I'm like, do you have like a job?
Right.
Like a hobby even.
Something.
And something. So it's just like you can't really pay attention to them much. But, you know, sometimes people will try to spread fake shit about you and say awful things and claim all these things about you. And honestly, what I do when that happens is I ignore it most of the time, because I know my truth at the end of the day. Like, you know, one of the main things I feel like people like to accuse people of in the scene now is being a Nazi, for example, because easily a very cancelable thing. Like, you don't need people like that in the scene. But I grew up Jewish. I am obviously not a fucking Nazi. So it's like, you know, you just kind of have to laugh in their face and be like, actually, moving on. And it's a good feeling, because you see them like start to like be less and less, because they're not getting that reaction out of you. That's what they want from you.
So true. So true. And I'd have some of that more with me with the lives is where it would happen. I've taken a break from them for a little bit. Not from that, just because it's been a long winter, like I said. I had to dig myself out of some stuff and shit, and it was too much. But they'd go, and that's what they do. And once you say one thing, now they'll stay there and try and harass. If you say nothing, you just watch them disappear. Or if you just let like your confidence shine to that level. And I say like I will not let anybody talk shit about you, because when I met you, the immediate vibe I got was fucking real person, super chill. Just like, I mean, you know, with me, people think when they meet me, I'm just fucking screaming, I'm a wrestler, I'm pounding my chest, I'm chugging beers. No, right? Not the case at all. I'm a lot more chill than people think. And they don't understand also with us, guys, we're on social media. Our characters are going to be more intense on a fucking platform. Yeah. That's the goal, is for you to pay attention. If I go on here, or Shay goes on here, and we read a fucking book, we're reading Green Eggs and fucking Ham in a mundane voice, you're not watching the video.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like, why are you yelling? And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I yell? I'm passionate.
Yeah. You're passionate. You're metal as fuck. Like, this is one of the most metal people you ever see. And any of that shit anyone tries to bring at any of us is all garbage. Because this network, we're part of a network of real fucking psychos. Everyone associated with Eric and Bonginator, they're family to us. And they're fucking crazier than we fucking are. So if you think we're a fucking problem, you don't even know what's fucking out there that has our backs, everybody. And we've got their backs. And we stay very close with that family, because we're a family of people that are proud to be the outsiders, right? You want to say we're the misfits, the freaks. Good for fucking you. I'd rather be in that outside than in that mainstream bullshit. Like, I get that people with me, 48, they think I should be wearing a plaid shirt, shouldn't be getting tattoos anymore, drinking black coffee, getting a fucking newspaper, watching reruns of Murder, She Wrote, talking about arthritis and Ben Gay. I ain't doing that shit. That ain't how we go. We're metalheads. We're not going to stop. This generation I'm in here in the 40s, we've broken down barriers, because our parents weren't acting like this. They were doing all that real old shit, right? Everybody gets fucking old. And then you guys are going to be even more showing people. It's like the bullshit. How are you going to act when you're 65 and have tattoos? My skin's gonna look like shit anyway, so what the fuck does it matter what's on it, right? I'm gonna be
exactly.
Who gives a fuck? I'm gonna be fucking proud of this shit. I don't want to regret anything, Shay. You know, like, that's why every show I try and go to, I can't wait to get back to the Bonanza this year. I've got some other festivals lined up. You just gotta live it, right? We gotta be out there living our lives, because that cliche, it could be done any second.
Yeah, you have to live every day like it's your last. Like, say what you want to say, speak your mind, like, wear that outfit, like, have that like fucking dessert, dude. Like, fuck it.
It's so true, and you're very empowering like that. And I have to give myself credit, because I'm an egomaniac. I hear a lot of times people go, man, us shy kids, like the shit, even at a concert, as you know with me, I'll just get mad. I'll break I'll break everyone down, which I get because I was one of the shy kids. That was not something I was born with. I had fucking severe anxiety growing up. I was nothing like I am. When people are like, do you wish you were younger? Not at all. I did not like that version of myself. He didn't have this confidence. I go out now. I want everyone to have a good time. I want everyone to feel comfortable. I want everybody to just feel free. Just like you say, you post these fucking fits out there, and she makes a fucking statement like, yo, here I am, motherfuckers. And that's how I like to do it too, right? That's why when they're like, your sleeves cut off for douchey, I'm like, then call me Captain fucking Douche. Call me Don Juan Della Douche, everybody, because that's who I'm going to be, because I like the freedom. I like to live free, and it's something where Get Mental Health I just had on a podcast episode, and she was awesome, and she had said to me, like, you're one of the freest people I've ever met. And I'm like, it just took me a long time. Like I said, compared to just last year with me, you're going to see, compared to 2 months ago, I had a fucking epiphany. Satan came to me from the trenches of hell. And what he said was, madman, let it all go. Let everything go. I'm talking about arguments I had with people. I talk about second-guessing, twerking my hot ass outside to a Britney Spears song. I'm talking about going out in public screaming slayers to people. I was just at Purchase Street Records, and I'm meeting followers, and I'm putting on a show, and I love it, and I love it. Shay, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be me. Like, I wouldn't be able to function. I love it. I love empowering people to be themselves. And that's one of the biggest things. And I have a lot of respect for you on all fronts. I really, really do. I really appreciate you. We all know I'm sappy on the inside. I appreciate you being so embracing up there last year. It meant a lot to me. I was way more nervous than anybody even fucking knew. And that empowered me. That had an influence on me, right? Which now lasts the rest of my life. And you're doing that. You're doing that with every one of those comments in there that says that. And I read some of the comments with you where they're talking about that. Like, you're empowering them to go out and say, I can dress like this anytime I want in any fucking store I want.
Yeah, it's important because, like, that's why I like to empower people, is because I'm just like them. Like, no one would ever guess, but I have terrible social anxiety to this day. I will be so nervous talking to people in person. And, when I was a kid, I was so nervous in school, and I was bullied. Like, a lot of alternative kids were in school. And you just kind of, like, you listen to those people, and you're just like, damn, like, these people are so fucking unhappy with themselves. Because when you see those people that are bullying, people say it's cliche, but a lot of people project their insecurities onto other people that are confident, and you can see that they're doing their own thing. And that's exactly what people did to me, but I just didn't stop doing it. Because what's the point? Like I said earlier, can't please everyone. Why bother trying? The way I dress doesn't affect anybody except me. So, and I just want that. I want to be that person for other people too, because, you know, a lot of those people, especially in this day and age, don't have like those people. Like, I know I'm like Gen Z. I was born in 2002. I'm 22 years old. But like, I still, like, I'm out of high school, and I know how much meaner kids are now in high school than when I was in high school.
Isn't it? It's getting worse and worse. And it was always that shit too. I was always a metal guy. I'd get in fights. I would defend myself. My father made me do it. Like, I didn't have a choice. If I came home and didn't defend myself, it'd be worse at home. So I always, and it empowered me to, and I talked about this on another episode, just always stick up for the people. Hence why you see me do stuff for small bands and female fronted and all this shit. That's who I've been my whole life. When people go, you're white knighting, I ain't white knighting shit. I'm common sense knighting, as I say. They all want me anyway, everybody. What am I supposed to do? I don't need to white fucking knight. I could be a scumbag and they'll still want to be with me. It is what it is. But I vowed my whole life, Shay, to not let people get bullied. I had one at a pit. I threw a guy out of there, a fucking dickhead. Don't be swinging at women. Don't be swinging at older people that don't want anything to do with that shit. It's okay, everybody, to act on things. Again, get security if you need to. But I've always been, from second grade, there was a kid, and he came from another country, and they were bullying him and bullying. And one day I'm outside, and they had like the half tire thing out in the fucking sand lot. And he's out there, and I just hear this kid crying, and then two kids are on him. This is only second grade. And they're just like beating him up in the face. And I was like, fucking hell no. And I was always a bigger kid, so I grabbed the two of them by their fucking necks and took them out. And they fucking ran. I was like, this kid, no one's ever touching this kid again. That's how I met my best friend. He was getting bullied. I had like 8 people jump me to save his ass. But when I mean, I'm not saying this as a flex or to try and act like I'm the toughest guy in the world. I'm saying I cannot stand by when people are bullied or hurt. I am so pro. The reason Rhea Ripley's my favorite wrestler. I am so proud of where everything's gone. It used to have to be bra and panties matches for these women that were fucking running circles around the guys. Because when you go see them wrestle, you're like, holy shit. And you sit there going, you got to stick up for people being bullied until there's change. And the way I'm old school, right? So you're 22, I'm 48. So for me, we were taught fucking square up to that bully and knock him the fuck out. Boom. Ends all bullying immediately. But to your point, a lot of things have changed. Bullies are getting meaner, and fighting back is not encouraged ever in the school, and now not encouraged to like a fucking scary point that it's just not normal. So it's up to all of us to try and change that. And you just start, boom, like 22, then all of a sudden you'll be 27, 28, and the 21, 22-year-olds will be so fucking alien to you. That's the one thing. That's the one thing. Like, one thing I love about the scene is metal, you can hang out with all age groups, right? It's always been that way. You just meet somebody, you start talking. And you could also though get those different perspectives, which I really like from the scene. And a lot of it's rubbed off on me. Like it's really crazy to me how much I changed, not even changed, embrace other things like in life, even with the like just equality and diversity of people and like coming from any country or coming from any walk of life or things you believe in. I am so about that it gets a lot of people in my age group fucking angry. But I am so about just embracing and expressing who you are. And it's unfortunate that if you're a metalhead or alternative or anything, you're always going to be targeted, right? Because we are different. We think different.
Yeah.
We're more caring, which is the ironic part. Maybe that's what they don't like either.
They think that's because they want to think that we're not good people because of the way that they look. And a lot of the time it's them internalizing because they know they're not good people. Right. There are a lot of God-fearing people out there. Like, I'm very anti-religion for the most part. I'm into, like, more spiritual stuff like paganism. Yep. But I'm very anti, like, organized religion, like, worship people in a cult type beat. And because that's what religion feels like a lot of the time, is a cult. And you see those people and they're like, oh, well, I have to do this or else I'm going to go to hell. But these people will pick and choose what they want to believe because God says, love thy neighbor as one would love thyself. So why are you going to be awful to somebody just because they look different? They have a different skin color than you. They're from a different country. Like, that does not fucking matter. Everyone's human.
It's so crazy. And again, like, I know, and I just say this because I know not everybody, right? I know people that are religious, that are nice, good people, but I do know a lot of hypocrites out there. And I went to a religious college. I dropped out of high school because I did everything the hard way. No one could tell me what to do. I was an honors student when I was going to school. I never liked to be told what to do. I didn't understand if I defended somebody getting bullied and I won the fight, I was suspended for a week. It was also, I didn't understand you could go down a hallway and people were jumping people for their starter jackets and shit back. Craziness, right? And
it is.
It's also fucking crazy. And to watch people just fucking ignore things that matter, or they're cheating. You see this a lot too. They'll be against certain sexualities, but they're doing that behind the scenes, right? Or they're talking about being great family members and they're beating the shit out of their wife and kid every fucking day. And they're, a belligerent alcoholic. And they're trying to tell everybody what to be and what to do. I went to the school just to go experience it. I wanted to learn. What I learned was, with religion itself, if you take out the organization and everything, there's some really good things to learn, right? There's some really good morals to have. There's some... and there's also, it's a textbook for obedience, And hence why we go to fucking school and they don't teach you about every fucking, instead of balancing your checkbook, shit you should learn about, and taxes and consequences of student loans. No, they're teaching you garbage shit. We're baking cookies in 12th grade if you fucking, I dropped out, but I assume that's what they were doing. We were building rocket ships in ninth, just wasting our time. And that's what that book does. It teaches you to obey, stay disciplined, all this shit. All the shit that people could say, they'll say to me, oh, you just say, but you break down society. Who says that you're supposed to meet one person, stay with them for 50 years, develop children to keep this system going? People can live their lives. They could have fucking 5 partners. They can have same-sex partners. They could have different partners. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah. And to your point, if the heart of what I learned was the heart of that story is everybody's equal. Right, they killed a guy that was kind of going against the grain at the time. So you would think that message would be the most free message. Organized religion should be the most free fucking thing in the world, but it's the most biased thing there is. Instead of saying love thy neighbor, love everybody, it's judge thy neighbor, it's judge everybody. And I mean, I go in looking like this, Shay, into a fucking store. People look at me in 2 fucking seconds, right? I'm 48, and they look at me like, who is this? Like, they know nothing about me. People will assume I work. People immediately say, like, do you lay lumber? Are you a mechanic? You're lucky I could fucking put gas in the car. I cannot do a job of manual labor. I used to get fired from them at 16 and 17 every 3 fucking months. I have to be in a professional, but they judge by the way I look immediately. And then they judge, this guy's going to meet you and he's going to spend 8 hours screaming fucking Slayer and talking about how he's going to fuck your mom. No, that's not how it works. But yes, my long-winded story there was, it sucks how hypocritical it is. It should be the freest people they are, and all they do. I walked into a store one time with these religious fucks, and my niece was all gothed up, and they were just like staring at her, and I just stared them right the fuck back. And then they look away because no one's they're bullies. If you notice,
and they think that you won't do anything about it. I get stared at in public all the time. And, like, a lot of the time, what I just do is I stare at them in the eyes right back, and then they just stop immediately because they think I'm, like, gonna come up to them or something, and I'm like, yeah, you're lucky that I don't. Like,
seriously, and that's really good, too, because when you talked about anxiety, like, that's another thing for people to realize right there. You've got to defend yourself because most of the time, no one's going to do it for you. You may run into people that will. It's far and few between. And you got to stand up for yourself at all times because they will bully us. They always want to bully. The misperception in movies all the time was the fucking leather jacket metalhead was the bully in the school. That wasn't the case. That's usually the guy that people are fucking starting with and giving him shit because he doesn't listen to the music. His hair is fucking long. He's, doing whatever the fuck. And we've been pigeonholed for years. It's weird. Yeah. It's so weird.
It is, and it's like you see it in so many movies too, where there's an alternative character. It's always, like they have bad grades, or the bad influence. They convinced like their friend to let them pierce their nose, or like some stupid shit like that. Yeah. Or the criminal, or just like the moody emo girl or something. It's like, what is the point in that? Like, that just is like a leeway to like let people bully other people for like what they want to do to themselves. Because it's nobody else's business. And, like, while there's all of those people that will hate and be awful in public, I just try to focus on the people that are nice to me in public, the people that compliment me, or when people come up to me and they're like, oh, I watch your videos. Like, it's an uplifting thing, and you have to really just cancel out all those bad moments and be like, well, these good ones outweigh that by a long shot because people's opinions don't matter to me.
So glad to hear that, and that's something that bands and influencers need to hear, what she just said right there, because I've been on, I've got my footprint on here on social media, and a lot of the people I came up with are gone. And a lot of the reasons were they'd make that last video like, I just can't take these comments, and I can't take this judgmental shit. And you just got, again, me and you are out there really kicking down doors. We just post what we post. There is no shame. There is no explanation. I don't feel, and like, don't get me wrong. I wasn't the first time I started twerking, right? I'm like, this is fucking, they're going to come at me. People are going to come at me, and it's going to be, and then it went from that to like guys and girls fucking hitting on me. And it strokes your fucking ego, right? You're sitting there going, hey, they fucking like this stupid shit. And more importantly is I'm having fun. I like to have fun. And anyone that knows me and sees me at a show knows I will become part of the show. We will break down all the social anxiety completely, and we're just there to have a really good time. And that's something, and you're having a good time there too. What was, I'm just checking time here. What was your, what's been your favorite show you've ever been to?
Favorite show I've ever been to? That is a really loaded question.
Sure is.
I would have to say I Hate God the first time I saw them. I've seen them 3 times. They're my all-time favorite band.
Nice.
And I would actually have to say the second time. The first time I saw them, they actually opened for Gwar, which I think is the most random lineup. It was I Hate God, Napalm Death, and Gwar.
So
but it was
crazy.
a sick show.
Yeah.
I got a concussion at that show, too.
You are intense out there. Like I said, I see her. I'm looking around in the fucking Middle East when we saw Bonginator, RSA, Frog Mallet, Trash Band. I'm like, she is endangering herself as a human being right now. She is in the fucking pit. So any of you people, too, I saw that shit. She goes to shows, dumb fucks. She goes to shows. She stage dives. She's a fucking psycho at the show, actually. She's all amped up like me. Me and her are like, blah, 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 fucking blah. All right, we're in fucking battle mode. She's the real fucking deal. She's as real as it fucking gets. I was so glad we could have this episode. I want to have you on some more if that's okay with you.
Oh, I'm absolutely down for that. I had such a good time doing this. Thank you so much for having me. I know I already said that, but this was so fucking amazing.
And you're great. You're a natural. You are natural. You got right in your comfort zone. You talked about all your topics. You got everything fucking out there. You dominated this interview. That was, and I've talked to quite a few people and some solid acts and everything, and just everybody's done awesome. But I'm very proud of you there. That was fucking sick.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, that was great. And we know people can find you on TikTok. They can find you on Instagram. They can find you in Salem. Let everybody know where to find you and how to follow you. And definitely go support that trivia. And the Madman's going to plan a trip. I will definitely be up there and make my announcement when I do, because I'm full of myself. So I have to make an announcement.
Absolutely. As you should, though. You can find me on both TikTok and Instagram at Mvtiilati0n. That's with a 0. And True Cult Trivia Official is my Instagram account. And then, you can see me around Salem all the time. I'm almost always walking around in Boston when it's nice out. I'll just, haul my ass on the train or bus and with no plan and just, be out all day. So
much fun.
You can find me pretty much anywhere at shows. And I'm always down to hang with people. People think I'm not approachable, but half the time I'm just as nervous as them. So it's I like to be on the same level as them. You
do. You are very genuine. I'm very genuine once you get to know me. I will say now, I have no more fear. Oh, Shay, I don't know what happened. I had an epiphany. Maybe it was all the gummies. My brain thinks different. I will be anywhere now. I'll be in an elevator with people. I'll be in a fucking store. I can't help not talking to people now. And if it's a Madman thing, I just get so excited. I was in Poughkeepsie to see Metal Pete, fucking great comedian. Super. His whole thing is so funny because you'd see him and you'd think he's super conservative, and then you find out he has a male partner and everything. It's the way he waves it in there. But we were out there and I'm at this comedy club. I wanted to go see him. He wore the Slayer shirt for me. Thanks, Pete. That was fucking sick. And I'm ordering some fucking food and I'm asking for these fries and I'm like, I want curly fries. The guy's like, they're curry fries. He read the fucking menu. I don't know. All of a sudden, another waiter comes back and he's just staring behind me and standing. I'm like, oh, this must be, we're going to fix the fry incident right now because I need these fries. And he's like, I saw you walk in. And I'm like, oh, here we go. It's my time to fucking shine. And I just hopped right up there. And he's like, I can't believe you're here. I'm like, I can't believe I'm here. You know the energy. I just turn it on like that in a second. And we're taking pictures. And it was the greatest flex because it wasn't a metal show. It was a comedy show in a restaurant in Poughkeepsie. And so now the whole place just gets quiet. Now, if this was me last year, I would have to leave. I would have been so fucking nervous because now they're like, who the fuck was that guy? What's going on? Now I'm just international celebrity conquering all social medias and in-person appearances. Metal horror madman, the person you want to be, the person your wife wants to be with. And this is who I am, everybody. And I've embraced that. And you're going to get like that because you're 22. When I was 22, I couldn't order a pizza on the phone. That's how bad my anxiety was. I couldn't go to eat anywhere. I couldn't eat in a McDonald's. The thought of being around people, like, that's another reason I dropped out of school. I just didn't like to be around people. And over time, now, I need people. When I don't have people, when I don't have that, I should have fucking went up to Salem and just toughed out the fucking snow and just went to see my people up at your fucking trivia event because I just get reached. Like the second I go out back in our scene, I'm like recharged, ready to go. And yeah, you keep growing, like you just said to me, with all different things as you're getting older at 22 and fucking moving on in life here, and you're just gonna keep getting stronger and stronger with it. And yeah, she's very approachable. I'm very approachable. Almost if someone's not approachable in the scene, just stay away from them. You know, sometimes there's people that just have that anxiety, like we've talked about. But there's also dicks, right? If they're dicks, you don't need them to be your friends or anything. Find the people that you could just go up to, right? You know, people like you that are like, I want to meet you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and it's like those people, a lot of the time when they're not being friendly or they're rude, they have their own skeletons in their closets. Like, you don't want to be around those people anyways, because then you end up not necessarily becoming guilty by association, but people see who you hang around with.
Dude, so one of the biggest things real quick is that's a big thing for me right now, and I've had to cut out some people, which I'm an empath, and I'm very loyal, right? I'm very loyal to people. And you see that with me in the scene, and you see the bands I promote. I don't ask anything of these. If I like the people, they get whatever they want from me. Anything I can do. I like true, real people. Those other people, though, and you know, sometimes they're in the band. A lot of the times they're associated with the band, maybe sound people or some type of security. Yeah. Those are the real, you got to fucking watch those motherfuckers. And those of you that are awesome, I love you. You're great. You're what the scene needs. But you scumbags that manipulate women and use them for shit. And just because you can manipulate somebody or they fall for it doesn't mean it's a fucking thing to do, assholes. It's not a thing I like at all. I hate that fucking excuse. I hate that excuse. Well, the girl did. Guy or girl, half your fucking age, blackout drunk. You fucking know better, okay, bro? You fucking know better. And then you even do it with these chicks that think they're getting in real relationships, and then you drop a bomb. And I'm not talking about the people that have multiple partners and stuff, right? Good for you. There's people that have those arrangements. That's sick. That's cool. Have fun. Just be honest with everybody. I'm talking about the scumbag that's like, oh, just so you know, I am actually married, and that was a one-time thing. You can't fucking, you know what you do to people?
No, you can't do that to people.
Do you know what? I mean, we all know. We've all been in a situation with a person that's manipulated us. I've been in there. I've been cheated on. It's fucking, Shay, I had a time, I didn't eat for like 30 days. People thought I was going to fucking die. I was that heartbroken. I was destroyed. So there's also myth, right, where it's like, oh, these chicks, these broads got a tough. Guys, you do the same shit. We fall apart. We second guess ourselves. We don't understand what we did wrong when it's nothing. It's not cool. And then the other shit of forcing yourself on a chick or making a gray area with it, right? That shit, I don't want you. People tell me I'm crazy when I go on these fucking rants of, don't follow me. I don't want you on my fucking page. Don't support my shit. Don't talk to me. If you're going to hurt somebody that can't defend themselves or you're going to ruin someone's reputation, because the other bullshit thing you do is you have a girl that sleeps with a few different bands, and maybe she's just doing it. She's having a good time. That's her life. No, you're going to fucking shame her, right? You're going to talk shit about her. That shit's not cool with me. And that shit's not cool with the people I hang out with in the scene. And we don't tolerate. There are those of us that do not put up with that shit. And I don't care if you're the biggest fucking band. I don't care what you could do for me. You're garbage to me. You're zero. You're nothing. I'll tell you that to your fucking face, too. Anyone that knows me like that also knows if I know you hurt somebody, don't do it. Don't do it, because there are people like me that just don't care, and we will confront you. Doesn't faze me. What's the worst that happens to me?
That's exactly how I am, too. Like, you can't, like, worry. Like, not that you can't worry about those things, but you have to stand up for yourself. Because if you let people walk all over you, they're going to keep walking all over you.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible thing. Like, I was cheated on, and it really destroyed me for a little bit. But then you realize over time, like, they would have done it no matter what you did, no matter who you were, because people that do that shit, it's not their first time. It's never their first time doing it.
Never. And that's some advice for all of you out there in new relationships that you're concerned about it or it happened to you, and it's like, don't worry, I won't do it again. They're doing it that same week, just so you know. They're literally, could be the same night they apologize to you. They will not change like that. You got to have everybody's backs at all times. And like I said, we got to do this again. I could sit and talk to you for fucking hours. Which up at the Bonanza, we talked and shit. She's so fun. She's accessible. She's a real fucking deal. We're going to have you back on here again. It's been a fucking pleasure. And thanks for stopping by.
Fuck yeah, I had such a good time. Thank you